Have you ever stopped to think about the cost of losing a sales team member, especially when you've just spent thousands onboarding them?
Oof.
I mean, it's a huge hit to any business,
Huge.
especially, for startups and smaller companies
Right.
who don't exactly have unlimited training budgets.
Exactly.
But what if I told you there's a way to not just avoid that, but actually boost your sales team's performance overall?
I'd say tell me more.
That's what we're diving into today.
Awesome.
We're talking sales coaching and how it can be a game changer,
Yeah.
especially for startups and small businesses.
Especially for startups and small businesses.
We're really going to be looking at how sales coaching is an investment,
Uh-huh.
not just an expense.
Definitely.
And to guide us through this deep dive, we're tapping into some incredible advice
Yes.
from the sales expert.
Always a great resource.
They really lay out why sales coaching is so crucial for building a high-performing sales team.
Absolutely.
So let's get into it. One of the things that the sales experts do that I think is really interesting
Yeah.
is they compare sales to a sport.
Oh, I like that.
And they make this analogy that your salespeople are like athletes.
Oh, yeah.
They each have their own strengths and weaknesses,
Mm-hmm.
and they need consistent training
Of course.
to really excel.
That's a really good analogy because just like athletes need to be constantly working on their skills.
Right.
And adapting to, different playing fields.
Exactly.
Salespeople need to be refining their techniques and staying ahead of that ever-changing market.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And what I love about that is the focus on consistent training.
Yeah,
Because let's face it, we've all been there.
we have.
We've all sat through those like one-off,
Right.
overwhelming training sessions
Totally.
that honestly don't really stick.
They don't stick.
The sales experts argued that infrequent training
Right. Yeah.
is basically like sending an athlete onto the field with zero practice. You just can't expect them to perform at their best.
No, you can't.
And I think they're right.
Absolutely.
They need that consistent coaching
Yeah.
to really hone those skills
Mm-hmm.
and turn those techniques into habits.
Mm-hmm.
The sales experts emphasize that these regular coaching sessions
Yeah.
not only reinforce what they've learned,
Yeah.
but they help build that long-term competency.
Absolutely.
So it's not just a quick fix.
Yeah.
It's really about building a foundation for success.
It is.
And here's something that I thought was really interesting.
Okay.
The sales experts talked about how the smaller, more intimate nature of many startups and small businesses
Yeah.
can actually be a huge advantage
Really?
when it comes to coaching.
Interesting.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I guess because you're not dealing with these massive teams where individual needs can just get lost in the shuffle, right?
Exactly.
So in a smaller setting, you can really personalize that coaching approach for each person on your team. You can actually dive into their own strengths and weaknesses, help them really maximize their potential.
I love that.
Yeah.
And, it's all about creating this personalized roadmap
Yeah.
to sales success.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I think you can really focus on when you're in a smaller, more agile environment.
Right.
And that level of personalization is what I think drives results.
Totally.
The sales expert point out that this kind of individualized coaching leads to just better performance overall,
Yeah.
stronger relationships with clients,
For sure.
and ultimately
Right here.
increased sales.
Which is what we're all after, right?
Exactly.
It's not just about individual performance though, right?
Right.
When you invest in coaching, you're also cultivating this whole culture
Yes.
of growth and excellence within your sales team.
It's like that saying, a rising tide lifts all boats.
Exactly.
The sales experts talked about this.
Yeah.
How consistent coaching has this ripple effect. It becomes contagious in a way,
I like that.
where team members are constantly learning and improving, and they're feeding off of each other's success.
Totally. And that energy, it goes beyond the team too.
Right.
It spills over into how they interact with clients.
I agree.
The sales experts talked about how team members almost become ambassadors of that positive environment, which leads to stronger relationships and ultimately a more successful business.
So it's not just about improving individual skills.
Nope.
It's about transforming that whole sales culture.
From the inside out.
Yeah.
And that brings us to another really important point from the sales experts.
Okay.
The financial impact of sales coaching.
Yeah.
They challenge businesses to see coaching as an investment. rather than an expense.
Which it really is when you think about it.
Right.
It makes total sense.
You're not just like throwing money at a problem.
No.
You're equipping your team with the skills and knowledge they need to succeed.
It's about strategy. It's about being strategic.
You're streamlining processes, boosting efficiency, and driving revenue.
It's a system.
Yeah, it's creating that sustainable system for sales success.
And that's so important for startups and small businesses.
Oh, absolutely.
Who might be a little hesitant to allocate those resources to coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
They might think they can't afford it, but the sales experts really drive home the point that by investing in your team's development, you're setting yourself up for greater financial success.
In the long run.
Down the line.
Don't forget about the cost of not investing in coaching.
Oh, that's huge.
We talked about employee turnover.
Right.
It's expensive.
So expensive.
When salespeople aren't properly trained or supported, they're way more likely to leave.
Yeah.
And then you're constantly starting over.
It's worse.
Onboarding new people.
Drains your resources.
Totally. Coaching is about boosting performance, but it's also about keeping your top talent.
Retention is key.
Yes.
You want to build that strong and stable team.
Exactly. And the sales experts made another great point about the importance of just always learning.
Oh, yeah.
In sales.
It's ongoing.
It never stops.
It really is.
The market is constantly changing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, new technologies are always coming out.
Always.
Customer expectations are evolving. It's like trying to hit a moving target.
It really is.
You have to stay ahead of the curve to stay competitive.
That's the key.
And coaching is how you do that.
Yeah.
It's the key to keeping your team adaptable.
And
by having these consistent coaching sessions, you're making sure your team is up to date on the latest trends and technologies.
The best practices.
All the best practices.
Yeah.
So it's not just mastering the fundamentals.
Right.
It's about building a culture of continuous learning.
That's so important.
Where your team is always evolving and growing.
With the market.
Right alongside the market.
Well, that's how you build stronger relationships with clients.
Yes.
Which leads to
more sales.
Increased sales business growth.
It's a chain reaction.
It is.
You know, investing in your team through coaching creates this positive ripple effect.
Throughout the whole organization.
So what does this mean for our listeners?
Good question.
Especially those of you leading sales teams out there.
The takeaway is simple.
Okay.
Sales coaching is not a luxury.
Okay.
It's a necessity.
I like it.
It's an investment.
Yes.
That pays off.
In so many ways.
Improved team performance, increased sales, and a thriving sales culture.
The sales experts said it best.
What'd they say?
Coaching is the compass that directs the ship to its treasure.
I love that.
And it's true.
It's so true.
When you make coaching a priority, you're setting your team and your business up for success. So how can you implement this?
Yeah, how can people listening actually do this?
This powerful tool of consistent sales coaching.
In their own organization.
That's the big question.
And that's where the sales experts can really help.
Okay.
They have a ton of resources.
They do.
And practical guidance to help you build that thriving sales culture through effective coaching.
I mean, where do you even start?
Right.
It can feel so overwhelming
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to actually put a coaching program in place, especially if you're a smaller team with limited resources.
I think that's where those resources from the sales experts can be so helpful.
Yeah, for sure.
They've got it all.
What do you do?
Programs, blog posts, even free resources that cover like everything.
Yeah.
From cold calling techniques to recruitment strategies.
I love their sales academy.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
It's so good for getting like a deep dive into all those different sales methodologies.
Super helpful.
And their Rainmaker series.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard such good things about that.
It's a good one.
It focuses on those telephone selling techniques.
Which are so important.
Especially these days. And then they have their free business coaching sessions.
Oh, yeah, those are fantastic.
I mean, what a great way for businesses to get that personalized advice and support.
Totally.
Even if they're not ready to commit to like a whole program.
Exactly.
That's such a valuable resource.
It is.
For those startups and smaller businesses that are, you know, just getting started.
Yeah.
Building their sales teams.
Those are the ones who need it most.
Totally.
The sales experts get it.
Yeah, they do.
They understand the needs of smaller businesses, and they make it so easy to connect.
Yeah, how so?
I mean, you can schedule a call, visit their website, read their blog.
Right.
There are so many ways to tap into their expertise.
And it's worth it.
It is.
Investing in sales coaching is really about investing in your business's future.
100%.
It's about empowering your team, boosting their confidence, and driving revenue.
And growth.
So if you're ready to take your sales team to the next level, I highly recommend checking out the Sales Expert.
Great advice.
See how they can help you create that thriving sales culture.
Because when your sales team is thriving,
Yeah,
your whole business thrives.
this has been such a great deep dive into the world of sales coaching.
Super insightful.
We hope you've learned something new and are excited to put these strategies into action.
We hope so.
In your own organizations.
Absolutely.
Keep learning.
Keep growing.
And keep those sales soaring.
We'll see you next time.
Until then.